Roger Jackson, welcome back to Borger once again. This time, you are the winner on the ticket.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here. Love Borger, so really excited about being here today.
And he had a hard runoff election, but now you're focusing on November 3rd, and of course you do have a Democratic candidate in Gus Trujillo, but hey, this is Republican territory. We're red up here.
We sure are, so I'm looking forward to it. We got past, I think, the biggest hurdle. Obviously, I'm the Republican candidate now in the number one most Republican district in the entire United States, so that's something we should all be proud of. And but we're not taking anything for granted. We're still going to keep our foot on the gas. We're going to work hard. We're not making any assumptions. We got another race to win in November, and so it's going to be really important for everybody to get out and vote again in November, and not just for me, but we got to get President Trump reelected. And people up here, you know, he's going to get the vote up here in the 13th Congressional District, but the issue is that he's going to get a lot of Democrats voting for him in Austin and Houston and Dallas and places like that where these people have rolled in and turned some of our big cities kind of blue. And we need to get out there because those votes that we cast up here in the 13th Congressional District for President Trump are going to undermine and overturn all of the liberal votes that are out there. And it's up to us here in this part of Texas to make sure that President Trump wins Texas.
Let's move on. You have been logging many of miles because it's a huge district up here, but you've also been in Washington, D.C. as well. Let's talk about those trips.
Yes, I've been going up there. I've been taking advantage of the fact that I got past this big hurdle here, and I feel like I got to do everything I can to position myself as the probable congressman from the 13th Congressional District to have as much influence for this district as possible. That's what it's going to be all about for me. So I've been up there making sure that I'm keeping those relationships with the President and his team and the West Wing and the Cabinet Secretaries and their teams, keeping those hot, making sure that, that I can utilize those relationships to make things happen here in 13 when we need to. And then I've been up there also talking to congressional leadership, to McCarthy and Scalise and Liz Cheney and the people that represent the Republican Party's leadership right now, talking to them about committee selection, because that's going to be big for us, right? And I'm working hard to make sure that I get on the Ag Committee and the Armed Services Committee. Those are my two choices. And so I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to make that happen, and I'm going to be on Ag and Armed Services, and I think that's a great combination for this district.
All right, let's talk about one of the things you mentioned in your speech was the culture war that is going on.
We're in a fight for our country as we know it right now. You know, we really are. It's not whether we're going to end up with somebody who's a little to the left of center. We're going to end up with somebody who is far, far to the left. We're going to end up with people that the liberal press and the radical left have endorsed, and someone that's carrying the water for all of their ideas. And I don't think former Vice President Joe Biden used to be like that, but he's like that now. He's just a vessel for these people that will destroy our country. I mean, they're basically socialists, communists, and Marxists, and they're driving the train right now. And so this election couldn't be any clearer. We have a choice between the country as we know it, a patriotic place that we're all proud to live, that's run by the free market, where everybody can get ahead and be successful, where it really is a democracy, or we have the option of becoming a socialist, Marxist, communist country, because that's the direction they're headed in. And I feel like if we lose this election, we've taken the first step in that direction. I don't want to see that happen.
Loading up the briefcase, what do you plan on taking for the district to Washington, D.C.?
Well, we're going to work on making sure that we protect our Texas values and our good, strong Christian conservative values. That's going to be one of my priorities. I'm going to work hard to make sure that we're taking care of our farmers and our ranchers. So ag is going to be a steep learning curve for me there, but I can do it. I'm going to assert myself. I'm going to immerse myself in these issues, and I'm going to come back to the district on a regular basis, and I'm literally going to spend days, full days out on people's farms, work with folks out in the feed yards and things of that nature. I'm going to learn by being there and seeing it happen on the ground. And those are the people that are going to educate me on what the issues are, what the solutions are, and how we need to fix things. So I'm going to be working on that. Of course, I'm going to be always engaged on protecting our Second Amendment, protecting the unborn, working on immigration reform and health care reform, and I think we can get all that done. But those are areas that we're going to focus on right up front.
I gave you the final word.
Well, I just tell you, I appreciate everybody that's voted for me. The voters got me to where I'm at right now, and I told voters out there that if you put me in office, if you put me in a position to win, which they have now, I promised them that I would make you proud, and I'm going to keep that promise. I will make you proud. So thank you to all the voters that voted for me. For those that didn't vote for me, I'm going to continue to work on them. I'm going to be all over this district, all over the Panhandle in North Texas, meeting people one-on-one, and I'm going to win the hearts and minds of the voters in the 13th Congressional District, one voter at a time. But thank you all. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited about being your congressman.
Thank you.
Thank you.